Hey guys, Chris again from ClassicVWBugs.com, and in this tip I want to show you how to put down your pan gasket on your restored Beetle. If you're doing a body off restoration like what we're doing here, this is a 54 Beetle we're doing as part of our Build-A-Bug program, and we took the body off the chassis, and what you want to do is you want to get a new pan gasket, and I recommend definitely going for the German kit. They at least give you some of the kits at least give you some holes already punched into the gasket, but if they don't give you the holes punched in, I'm going to show you a little tip on how to line this up correctly and to be able to punch the holes up nicely, so you'll be able to line it up and then even keep the seal intact on the pan, so when you are lowering the body back down on the pan, it doesn't move or shift or anything like that. So I'm going to go through a couple things with you here and then show you how to get this right. All right, let me show you what I did here. We already put the gasket down, as you can see here, all along the outside perimeter of the floor pan. Okay, and like I said, I mean, this is great to do a body off restoration. You have access to everything. Everything's right here. I mean, now's the time to change, you know, everything when it comes to your brake lines, your master cylinder area. If you have to change your steering box, do your shocks, whatnot. This is a perfect time to really, you know, get your bug to, you know, get it up to snuff and get it up to shape before the body comes back. See what we have here is a 54 that we're working on. Here's the body. We have it up on the lift right now. And today we're going to be lowering it down on this chassis. So we make sure, just like all our Build-A-Bugs, that we do everything prior. So if the shell's out getting painted, we'll have the chassis here and we'll work on it before the shell comes back, so it's a lot easier. So anyways, back to the gasket. A lot of times you'll get the gasket in. Here's a piece of the gasket right here. This piece goes into the front, goes over the hump here. Okay, this is going to lay down like this, and you see they got the two holes here that line up right there. Now if you notice, if you're still using these older bugs, this is a 54, right, that like I said, in the factory they put these nails in. I don't know if you could see that nail, and these nails actually held the rubber down and kept it in place. What I did was, let me show you here, I used the existing nails. I said, why not? I'm not going to take them out. So what I did was I punched a hole. I either got a little punch like this, or kind of like an awl, and I punched a hole in the rubber, lined it up, and just basically wedged it over the nail. If you don't have that, you can use one of these hole punchers, and that punched a hole in it, and now that keeps it down. And it worked actually really well. So I actually used the old factory nails to keep the rubber down. If you don't have those nails in, some of the later cars might not have that, or if you're doing a new pan, like we put this new pan section on this floor, so we're not going to have those nails. I got this stuff. I was just in Home Depot, and DAP makes a product called Strong Stick, and it's pretty strong, and it's a pretty decent adhesive. I mean, you can see some white there. That's what comes out kind of chalky, and it bonds pretty quickly. Within 10 minutes, the stuff is in place. And I'm not here to just, you know, it's just here to keep it in place, so when we're putting the body down, it's not going to shift and move. Okay, so now what it did is when I lined up the rubber, sometimes you might have to do some trimming. So just get yourself some scissors or whatnot, and I line up the end right here, stop there, because the other rubber is going to go in front of that. Follow it all the way around. Now a lot of times they're not going to have the holes punched in the rubber. Okay, I had to punch these myself. Now, and you line it up all the way to about here. For some reason this rubber ended here, so I had to get another piece to finish off here, and you kind of angle it off. Just make it all kind of uniform, nothing overlapping or anything like that. If you don't have the holes, prior to gluing it down or fastening it down, you want to line it up, like I said, from the front, up there, and all the way back here, line it up. And then I got myself, you can get these at Home Depot, they're called, you can Google hole punch, or I think they're called hole arches. And you get a block of wood, like that, 2x4, something like this, and basically you're going to put the rubber down, and you get a pen and you mark where the hole is when you're lining it up on the outside of the pan. Just get a pen and you mark an X or something. Then when you get this piece of rubber down, you get the X. This is a 9/16 hole punch. You could probably go a little bit bigger, but this one's pretty good, and it actually fit perfectly in between the gasket. And then you just get a hammer and you hammer it through. You see all the holes I got hammered here on the wood. And that's what you're going to want to use. You're not going to want to put it on concrete or anything like that. You want a piece of wood to do this, to make those holes. Sometimes you might want to make the holes a little bit bigger, long ways, because sometimes you need that extra, that little extra space, because sometimes when you're lining up the chassis with the body, it might not line up just right, so you might have to give yourself a little bit of fudge room so the bolt can go through and it's not going to give you any problems. So that's really that tip. I mean, when it comes to taking your body off the chassis, I always recommend changing the gasket, because you know that gasket's either torn, old, you know, corroded or whatnot, and you know, it's you know, just something you're going to want to do if you're doing a full restoration. I also, you know, this back piece, same thing. Open the nails, and the nails, okay, all the way around. This back piece actually circles around the hump, as you can see here, and thankfully the nails were there, and I was able to follow, basically put the nails in the center of the strip all the way around, and then it goes down to the bottom there. And then there's that other gasket across the way. So as you can see here, here's that glue that I used, that DAP glue. You could probably use any sort of sealant glue, or, you know, even a glue stick or a glue gun if you have something like that. But I used that stuff. It seemed pretty quick. It was good. It bonds pretty nicely and keeps it's keeping the rubber in place. So, but yeah, that's that tip. I mean, you know, when it comes to getting this seal, definitely go German. Try to get the best seal you can. You don't want something that's really weak. And they do sell seals on the market that do have holes already pre-cut, but sometimes they don't line up just right, so you might have to finagle it a little bit and do some trimming. So that's it. Basically, look for this hole punch, or if you want something like this to punch the small holes for the nails to keep in place. If you don't have the nails, you can use the glue, and there's your razor, of course, to trim it off if you had to do that as well. So and that's it. That's it for today. If you have any questions, Chris at classicvwbugs.com, or my website, revamped Web 2.0, www.classicvwbugs.com. Take care.